Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Welcome along to Tiger Island. My name's Peter. Now, over the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to be highlighting some of the talents and skills of these absolutely magnificent Bengal Tigers. Now, at no stage where you see sports the cats out here, it's always about having fun and encouraging them along the way with their favourite treats. Now, of course, if you are enjoying yourself, make sure you let the Tigers know, a bit of clapping and cheering, and really partake in this presentation, and I'm sure we'll all have a bit of fun. Now, before I go too much further, I'm going to introduce you to who you're sitting out here. Handle-wise, on my left-hand side here we have Scott, on my right-hand side we have Keith. Now, the Tigers that we're going to be working, in the middle here I've got the lovely Cedar. Now, Cedar is a 17-year-old female born right here at Dreamworld, and at 17 they're fairly old. In the wild they only live through about 10, maybe 12 under the right circumstances. Around 18 to 22 in captivity is quite common, so she's still got a few years ahead of her. Now, this coloration is caused by the fact that her father was white, her mother was orange, so she's very simply taken on characteristics from both mum and dad. Current weight 150 kilos. Now, over there on my left there with Scott we have Pie. He was born up in Cairns and he arrived here when he was only just 11 weeks of age. His weight's about 140 kilos. He's a bit younger, he's only a 5-year-old male, so I'm sure we'll see some awesome work from him, whereas Cedar, well, she'll take things in her own stride. And last but not least in the pool there, looking like he is super psyched about this presentation this afternoon, is Ravi. Now, he's actually the youngest tiger out here on display, but he's also the heaviest tiger. He currently weighs in at 155 kilos. He's coming up on 4 years of age, and he does have a mind of his own someday. So we'll see how he goes. Again, not born here at Dreamworld like Cedar, born down in New South Wales. He arrived here when he was only just 4 weeks. So guys, these are the cats that are about to do your presentation. How about we start off with a nice big round of applause? What do you reckon, guys? Let's see how that's the way. Get right behind the Tigers. Hopefully that will encourage Ravi out. If not, it might be the pie show. We'll see what happens. Alright, so we're going to be starting off with some milk out here, and the first behaviour that we'd like to demonstrate to you is very simply one that we like to call a sit-up. And it looks like maybe Pie, he might be the first into it. There we go. Sid, do you want to do a sit-up for me? A little bit grumbly. Coming down the front here. There we go. How about, there we go with Pie. Let's give him a round of applause. That's an excellent effort. There he goes. Up into the sit-up, and Ravi's still in the pool. You going to sit up for us, Sid? No, she's heading straight on into showing everybody her teeth. Now, this is to me is one of the best parts of the presentation, because what you're seeing is what the Tigers want to do. So sometimes it doesn't always work out the way that we want it. We'll certainly try though. And we'll see again. Sid, if you want to sit up for me. Sit. No, come on. No. Now, Ravi over there, one of his favourite things is meat, obviously, and milk is probably, to a lesser extent, something that he enjoys. But he's also playing a bit of a game over there, and that is to see how quickly he can frustrate the handler to bringing in the meat into the scenario. So, with these behaviours, we can see Pie going back into that sit-up over there. Awesome effort. And it looks like Cedar is going to join us as well. Let's give Cedar a round of applause. Keep things on the move here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stretch her up here into what we call a rise behaviour. There we go. And what Scott's going to do is he's actually going to take Pie down there and lean him up against the trunk of a tree over there. Because this is really what I'm trying to replicate to you by doing this behaviour with Cedar, is to get the way that the tiger would mark territory up against a tree. So they're leaning up against a tree like this, digging their claws into the bark, of course is going to leave a visual indicator that they've been there and exactly how big that dominant male or female of that territory. So we've got Ravi out of the pool there. Now let's see if he's a little bit interested in doing these behaviours. Now one of the things that you'll notice is that Keith is going to get him to do a sit-up first. We do like to keep it very consistent out here with the behaviours, so the Tigers know exactly what we're expecting of them and when. Let's give you a huge round of applause, and let's keep that motivation going for Ravi down there. And when Keith's ready, he's going to move him up into, of course, the rise up on the shoulder, of course, when he's ready. And with Cedar here, I don't think she will. She's got a little bit of arthritis these days in her back legs, but the next behaviour that we would like to demonstrate to you is what we call a freestand or a fight stand. So we might see that first of all from Pie down there when he gets all that milk off his whiskers there. And you can see Ravi going up into the rise. Now the rise is also, when you're digging the claws into the bark of the tree, probably feels really nice to them as well, okay, stretching the ligaments in and around those areas, and also helps to keep the claws in tip-top condition by removing any bit of dead claw that might be there. So, yeah, again, very important behaviour for the tiger. As far as the fight stance, looks like our Pi's decided to go on strike, and again, that's totally okay. I'm sure we'll see one from Rami when the keep is ready, and maybe into this fight stance. No, not quite. So the fight stance is, as its name suggests, and Pi looks like he's going to go into it right now. Here we go, you can see that. Okay, you can see in this position here, the way the tail is being used like an extra leg, freeing up these paws means that they can then bash out of their opponent's face area. So that is why they have that collar or ruff around the face that very simply is designed to actually knock their opponent onto the ground. But then they can, once they're on the ground, they can use all of their weapons to defeat them, the claws, the body size, and also their teeth. So what we'll do is Pi there, you can see that Scott's going to just drizzle a little bit of milk into his mouth there. You see it here, I don't mind showing you your teeth just like that because it's quite easy, but Pi doesn't like that, so we won't do that with Pi. And Ravi looks like he's got other things on his mind. Again, there's probably something in the grass there that he's enjoying. These teeth are probably more important for catching prey because this allows them to bring down prey 5 times their own body size. So baby elephant, baby rhino, particularly the large deer species, things like sunbull and cheetah deer, they'll even kill gaur, and that's what these big teeth are most important for because tigers will avoid confrontation unless it is absolutely necessary. And you can see Ravi there, yeah, he's been a little bit slow, but we got there with the behaviours. And in the early days, Tiger Island was never about doing presentations like this. It was always about having a bit of fun, but it has evolved into that. And as you can see, the way we go about things is pretty cruisy, pretty relaxed, and making sure that the animals still enjoy our company and get those behaviours done eventually. Alright guys, we'll put the milk away now. How about a big round of applause? I think that's drawn out of there, but I think we've done a pretty good job. We'll get in there eventually. Alright, so we're going to move on to some jumping for you. Now, platform to platform at the back here is a distance that is only just 3 metres. Tigers can quite comfortably jump about 6 metres without too many problems. As you're about to see, a 3 metre jump is more or less a height. Let's give him a round of applause. I know it's very simple, but it's an awesome demonstration. Because if you combine that with the top speed of the tiger, about 55, 60 kilometres an hour in about 3 seconds, that extra momentum, it's not hard to imagine a tiger jumping twice that far. This is also assisted by the tail. You can see it's not standing still. It flips right up over his back. Now what this is doing is continuing that momentum forward and also helping to balance him out when he is jumping. And we're going to see another type of jump here. Maybe we'll see how he goes today. Oh, how about that? A little hop off the ground. Let's give him another round of applause as he chases his piece of chicken down the moat there. And I think, yep, fantastic. Let's get him, keep him going. Here comes Ravi, and as you can see, he's just got that little bit more pep in his step than what Pi has. Pi tends to just take things cruisy, whereas Ravi, he's at everything like a bull at a gate, unless of course you've got milk in your hand. So here we go. A couple more jumps, and we'll see how he goes with his dismount technique, bringing him back down this way here. There we go, fantastic, and down to the ground, and up in the air maybe. Oh, how about that? Let's give the little fella a round of applause. He's done a pretty good job. Alright, now so far what we've been doing is highlighting behaviours that tigers would need to master for survival in the wild. What we're going to do now is show you a technique of training that makes our lives a whole lot easier. And very simply is called mark training. Now, a mark is the boards that the guys have got in their hands here. Keith's going to give me a couple as well, and we'll show you how we go about doing it. So we start off with a really big green board. Throw it on the ground in front of the tiger, ask them to mark. See that? Mark. And most of the time they'll just stand there and look at you. Not really. Well, we can see the Pi's doing it and Ravi as well. Here comes Cedar. Alright. Okay, so they're standing on the board there, we give them a food reward. Nothing simple, nothing hard about that. Really, really straightforward, really simple training. And this enables us to be able to do some very special things. Firstly, if we need to keep a tiger's temperature, or give them their yearly vaccinations, or bring a vet in nice and close to have a look at any issues or problems that they might have. We've even done x-rays and ultrasounds on fully conscious tigers using this technique of training, so really handy for their health. Now the other thing that you're going to see here is tigers moving from one location to another, simply using hand commands, verbal commands and food just like that. Again, really hard, isn't it? Now, This means that we can get involved in media, movies, commercials, documentaries, even tiger move from one place to another. How easy is that? No stress to us, no stress to the tiger, and certainly no stress to the film crew. And we enjoy being involved in the media work because it is a lot of fun for us and the Tigers to do something a little different in our day. But more importantly, it has an income. Not an income for these Tigers, not an income for us or Dreamworld. It has an income for the Tigers in the wild because they're the ones that we're mostly concerned about. At the moment, we've reduced the population of over 100,000 tigers 100 years ago to an estimated 3,000 tigers. And 1 to 5 tigers are still dying daily due to habitat destruction, as well as poaching for body parts and poaching for prey. Now, at that current rate, within the next 15 years, the tiger will become extinct, never to be found in the wild ever again. Now, to me, that would be a very sad day. The main reasons, as I said, habitat destruction and poaching, man-made problems. We can fix that, but we need motivated people out there in the wild to do that. So that's where the money that we raise comes in. It goes back to paying wages, get people out there in the tigers environment, give these guys a chance of survival. Now, if this does sound like something that you'd like to help out with, very simply, our donation boxes are located in front of the shop, next to the stairs to the tea house, and up near the open-air display. There are no administration fees or set-up fees. You put $10 in there, $10 goes offshore. You put 50 cents, $1, 20 cents, whatever it is, trust me, it all adds up, it all goes offshore. It doesn't need to be much. So, the other way you can jump on the Dreamworld website, there's plenty of opportunities to help save the tigers there as well. Now, that is the more serious side of Tiger Island, but I truly believe that that's what Tiger Island is designed to do, to give the tigers a future out there in the wild. But this is behaviours that we do here that bring people along. And this next one's quite interesting because a lot of the early literature will tell you that tigers cannot climb trees. Theory being, tiger is too big, claws are too small, there's no way they can support their weight in a tree. So who of you out there would like to see a tiger climb this tree right here, right now? Anybody?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, a couple of people. Come on, who wants to see a tiger climb a tree?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear. Now, so straightforward process, big long pole, bit of chicken on the end of that, get yourself a motivated tiger and away you go. Now, Pi over the last few weeks has decided that, climbing, I'm a bit hum at the moment about that. There's other things around and picking up scents of other tigers and so on. So we do have to be a little bit patient with him. Some days we just move on and we bring Ravi down if he wants to get involved, and that's totally fine as well. But we do like to make Pi, give him a bit of a go at this, because if you just stop doing behaviours with him, then he'll just never do them again. But you can work with them, as you can see Scott's doing right now, just encourage him over close to the pole, let him see that you've got a bit of chicken there, and if he definitely doesn't want to do it, that's fine. But he is, out of the two, actually the better climber, not for the fact that he can climb the tree, but because of his dismount technique. And if you'll see that, if we bring Rami in, that we won't take him all the way to the top of the tree. You can see he's got patience there. It's quite important that you are patient with them as well, and that is because if you're not, the chicken gets closer and he gets a free bit of chicken. So you can see now posing, getting into the right position. He's thinking about it. There we go. Perfect. How about that? Took us a little while, but we're finally right there. And for us, as far as training is concerned, that's a positive outcome. That's an awesome outcome. So tomorrow when we come to doing the presentation, if we can get that other awesome outcome, then that's a really good step in this training as far as what we train is concerned out here. Let's give him a round of applause. I think he deserves that. He's done a great job there. Also, hopefully indicating to you that if you're being chased by a tiger, don't bother climbing the tree, right? It's not going to help you at all. Alright, so now we come to our final behaviour for you, and I want to get you involved in this just one more time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count to 3, and I want you all to shout, jump, nice and loud and enthusiastic, and we'll see if we can get our tigers to launch off the logs here. We'll have a quick warm-up so everyone knows what's going on. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3! Oh, that's not too bad. Maybe all together at the same time. What do you reckon, kids? Alright, so the handlers are getting themselves into position here, and just waiting on Scott. Cats are ready to go. Handlers are now ready, so here we go. 1, 2, 3! Oh, how about a big round of applause. Excellent jump from both of the boys there. A couple of extra bits of reward going on here. Just lets the Cats know that we think that they've done a great job for you here this afternoon. And guys, before you do disappear, I would like just one more time to remind you of the donation box. I think you'll agree with us out here, the tiger is far too precious to lose, so if you can help in any way, again, thank you. Other than that, on behalf of myself and the whole team here at Tiger Island, enjoy the rest of your day here at Broomley, and bye for now.